All right. So it's a honeypot scheme and there are variations on it. It's always women working for money. Like I'm not rich, but criminals will pay you money to honeypot me. It doesn't get very far, but that serves their purpose also, because then there's nobody I can get with. And then if all else fails, they just bring in some dirty cops. Even PIs sometimes say they're cops. Again, if it doesn't go to court, and there's people in there like Brennan and Comey and their progeny, people that trained under them, that will block it from ever getting to court. So it doesn't matter that they do it. But there are, and it's not necessarily just government, hostile takeovers of corporations. So what they do is they mix it up with them. They say, well, Trump, we helped you one time. Biden, we helped you one time. But it's foreign nations destroying our nation and really have destroyed bipartisanship. So again, it's a hunt. There's variations. There's so many different operations, but there are variations of a honeypot scheme. They use FBI agents like whores. They become millionaires once they do the dirty. CIA is not the only CIA. In the United States, there's probably at least 30 or 40 CIA agencies, private sector, government. FBI probably have cells of CIA type work for personal gain. Again, the idea is we're the deep state. You can't handle the truth. We're protecting all of you. It's bullshit. Not a single one of them is protecting anybody but the criminal enterprise. There's no doubt Brian Noem is a victim of one of those operations. The one thing, and again, Hashem put that into the news. I could be off. She could have bailed at a certain point because she felt so bad. But the big booby woman, I don't remember how it all went down. I don't spend too much time looking at it. I just peruse some stuff. She wanted to stop the money from being spent, which meant because the deep state would tell her to keep going. No, the gnomes are bankrupt because of the deep state. Now, while they're doing it, she's moving up, right? That's the scam. She gets a little overconfident. And in the Senate and the House, there's people that'll get a blip from the deep state, and they know in the long run their stock market might double. Like the last time they did whatever the deep state said. In my office, people after Jonathan Luna was killed and after I left, people were promoted. People that would never be promoted. So you have people promoted to inspector, and that's not all of them, but I noticed it across the board. And promote because that's what they learned. You just don't say anything about the deep state. But again, you can't not say something about the deep state when you're a victim. Again, I'm the first person that broke the deep state, not anybody else. But people made millions of dollars off the books, and who are they? The deep state. So you see how they play it. The people that wrote the books to attack the deep state dumbed it down. And then they, walked off with millions of dollars. So you see how it works. Right. So we got people in the government that never should have been promoted, and they got promoted because they're deep state criminals. You're not allowed to alter the workplace in the government without having committed a crime. They make it so the victim can't successfully navigate government. And in some cases, you've seen it. You just don't know what you're looking at. Somebody doesn't draw their gun fast enough, and they get killed. Or they draw their gun too fast, and they go to prison. Or it doesn't matter what they do. It'll be one or the other. The reason I never confronted, I was assessing the security risk of going on my own to confront somebody that was stalking me when I was driving down to the airport at 9/11 to do a 12-hour shift for, before the National Guard got in there. There's two sides of it. One, multiple vehicles, multiple gunmen. While I'm taking out one, Another shoots me in the back. And they make up a story together. The other one is, if I killed every last one of them, because I was a pretty fast draw, I'd sacrifice a little accuracy to get it out fast. That's the way I could score better when I was in martial service on marksmanship, but to me, it's not realistic, and I'm not going to play that. So I shoot like I'm going to shoot on the street. So, I'm a little bit left or right of center, but I still hit them, and I do it, much quicker. As I train my mind, when I'm at the range, I'm shooting a real person, as far as, having a situation in a duty environment. So the deep state will do it this way. The CIA and other agencies will pay people, and private sector also, PIs, spy, there's private sector spy agencies, some known, some unknown. They'll have a legitimate case, but they have to do me and do Luna to get the legitimate case and that money. So CIA will pay them $1 million for some case that they may not even really be part of. They just say, well, okay, we got the information from this person. The CIA may have had the information. Again, everything they're supposed to be using against the enemies of the United States, they use against the United States for our enemies. I believe some of them, when they went overseas to work cases, were recruited by foreign law enforcement based upon that idea that we're the deep state. They didn't call it that. That you have to do this for us because we have the evidence and this guy or this gal's got to go. But you don't even know who they're working for. And again, part of it in the mind comes up as them being CIA, and CIA was part of it. But again, it's not CIA official work. It's CIA criminal. What happens is CIA gets arrested. And if they get arrested too much, they attack the law enforcement entity. So I believe Jonathan Luna was working a pornography case or something like that against CIA, and that did come up, or somebody covered by CIA. See, people in my office were covered by CIA. There were nobody that you would hire if you were actually conducting CIA business. That's one of the obvious assessments, that these are not the people. Like, of course, you would fix my life and hire me or somebody similar. Oh, they had baggage and garbage for decades in their lives. But that's part of it too, because they keep messing up and getting doo-doo in their life. They attack the victim to have additional doo-doo in their life. And sometimes it's just a bunch of stories. When I was in Santa Fe, they were sending young girls around to stand next to me while, of course, the camera was running. I was just looking at them like, what? Now, you have to understand something. They're also witches. And I'm also having my feeds manipulated. Ad feeds, social media feeds, maybe even GHB put on my steering wheel in my vehicle. Again, CIA can get a key to your vehicle in less than a half a day. In some cases, in an hour. Which, for the official mission they're on, that's fine, but that's not all they are. In fact, remember Trump had the issue with the airline? That may have been CIA. Remember the hostile takeovers? CIA. Building their portfolio up for personal purpose. That's how Brennan becomes a director. Kills a few Americans, conducts a few illegal hostile takeovers, and then he's the director. For all we know, the agent that killed Jonathan Luna was either Brennan or supervised by Brennan. That could be why he was director, because he killed Luna. That's how bad it is and how bad it's been. Epstein's a nobody. He's passe. He's gone. Okay, victims were well compensated. Victims everywhere received nothing and have had worse situations. They're playing you. Sometimes I wonder if you're all part of it. Maybe this is. Maybe you really don't care that they're spy crafting everybody because you did something in your life and they helped you. But then they own you. And then you'll go to hell. Given much, done little. And actually, given much, done dirty. They'd kill me, Ma, if they could. I'm not living in the past. They are. I moved on so many times, it's not even funny. I'll tell you what, women were condemned by God for being part. Without them, the deep state doesn't work. Right. The honeypot scheme is integral. They're isolating men and stressing them out and sexualizing them. And then if it requires it, we used to call it Spanish fly, but it's GHB. All you got to do with GHB is put it on your victim's steering wheel, car door handles. If you get inside their house or apartment, you put it on their door handles, maybe even their toothbrush. The spies, if they're honest, they tell you 100% true. But it's not every spy. Phil Haney was already victimized by the deep state before he said something about Obama. There's another one. See? Brian Noem, his wife said something about Obama from a power position. Phil Haney said something about Obama. But it's not Obama, it's the deep state. And he's protected by the deep state, and he knows it. The scam is that Vince Foster was killed by the Clintons. Bullshit. It was killed by the deep state. Could have been Brennan. And later, Brennan's, the darling of Clinton. See how it works? That's how dirty they are. I'm sure the Clintons know that it's that dirty. Oh, I knew. Once the deep state hit me, I knew it wasn't the Clintons. Now, Democrats were part of it and didn't like what I saw. But that doesn't make it an isolated Democrat hit. I was hit by local Republicans who thought I was going to be the marshal. I mean, come on. You control everything. It'd have been pretty difficult to keep me out if my life was well. Well, because the judges love me. So what they do is they load me up with work. They think it's funny. I don't fall on my face because I'm a sapper leader and I've been through training and know how to handle things. And then the judges start sending letters and making comments. Attaboys and congratulations and your employee's great. And Larry helped us. So what do these shitbags do? Make a deal with Satan? Make a deal with Russians? We can get rid. We'll take care of it. We'll tell somebody. We'll get somebody on that. Hansen and Ames, bullshit. Red herrings. Brennan could have been working for Russia for all we know, and probably was. They just send money to his life, send power to his life. The internet's an amazing thing for spies. They all jump to social media. Oh yeah, I'm Brennan's buddy now. I work for Facebook. I'm Kobe's buddy, and now I work for Facebook. I'm Putin's buddy, and I work for Elon. Can't wait to see Elon's next magic trick. I'm actually a. What party is he going to pick next, you think? What cause is he going to jump on? No, I'm really anti-rocket ship. I really am. I hate rocket ships and people on rocket ships. Give me money. Give me the anti-rocket money. That's pretty much it. They squandered the last 30 years easy. I guess maybe, yeah, about 30 years now. 20 years maybe. The deep state took over about at the millennium. So again, they have plenty of money to play from the tax dole, but then also you saw the contracts. That's what those are. So you have a corporation and you get a sum of money. Let's say it's an NGO and you're LDS. You got an NGO and you get $1 million right off the bat with options. What do you think the options are? Run a honey pot scheme and we'll give you more money. That's the option. Everywhere, every state, every major city, many rural towns. They're just waiting for more of that tax dole money. What Elon found is garbage, a game that he's playing. Not trying to fix anything. He's part of the problem. In fact, Trump may be spending more money because of Elon's cuts. That's how government works. You spend years trying to figure out how to save money by spending money. Let some idiot who put the wrong parameters in AI destroy the government and make everything cost more money. Just like the Israelis, they put the wrong parameters in there and killed a bunch of children. You're not smart people. You're propped up by criminal spies globally because you're ignorant and you'll do ignorant things for them. Now, doesn't it tell you something? They're building islands to flee to. They know what they're doing. When it totally flushes the United States, then they run off to an island. So again, I don't know what you're really investigating, but you want to look at the Luna stuff. And that's the closest I've ever seen it where they say there was a run amok informant, but the run amok informant is CIA. It's not one person. I had not in a million years thought CIA would be doing anything in my life. And yes, George Bush let them in, but the inference was psychically, we didn't authorize what they did. We authorized something, but not what they did. And of course, they did it because they're dirty. They're working for the Chinese, the Russians, anybody that'll pay money, anybody to give them power not to be arrested for their previous crimes. They could give a shit about the United States. As you can see, coming against our military with psychological operation from every office and every media outlet that they occupy. Why? They'll be rich as soon as the Democrats get back in power. And actually, there's probably out there enough money in the private sector squirreled away to pay them now. That sucking sound was government money leaving the Biden administration into the private sector to fund the deep state. It's a deep state, stupid. And that's not a political party. It's both Republican, Democrat, and outside of that, it's even independent. They work for social media companies. Why? They're spying for the enemies of the United States. But I worked for CIA before. I worked for FBI. I worked for DEA, State Department, Justice Department. Bullshit. You were a spy then. You're a spy now, social media. Just keep pushing the people's buttons. Just keep doing it. When they find the truth, you'll all be finished. I guarantee they'll revolt. I'm not part of it. I won't be part of it. I might even pass on before it happens. And that's when they get in their helicopters and flee to the islands. Take our money! And Elon hires 10 Chinese interpreters and reports into China from his island. You're being played, Trump administration. And it involves all the above. They have blocked relationship that would lead to marriage. It's in the scripture. It's them. It's Elon. It's the people working for Facebook. I don't know if it's Zuckerberg yet, but I know Facebook employees are part of it. Why? Spies work there. Corrupt FBI whores work there, as they work in X and they work in Twitter. Hey, if you didn't have sex with your boss to get where you did, then I wouldn't call you a whore. The other FBI women feel the same way. And the FBI man, they got, there's some of them are gay. Vice versa, vice. Mix it up, shake it up. One big Nazi orgy. Killing people with psychology. Causing poverty with psychology. Enriching yourselves and your cronies with psychology. That was designed by CIA for combat missions against foreign nations, but it doesn't seem like you're using it there. Maybe it's not your interest. Everybody out looking for pedophiles, and you find some guy in a school who's been a pedophile openly for like 15 years. It's a scam. There's no money in arresting that guy. The money is saying Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. The money is to say that's an Epstein, that's an Epstein. When they're not. And then understand something. If I can articulate to you that that's an Epstein and you're part of the deep state, if we can have that conversation, you know what the scam is. You know how to make your extra money. LDS, Sikhs, so again, you all do what you want, but there is a God in heaven, and he's watching. And you're not going to use some new churchy BS story about what you're really doing, that we can't handle the truth to get out of it. When you leave the body, the judgments come quick. Well, stay peaceful.